Can you give us another example of exactly what you were just talking about? Like we tried to shoehorn certain events into attributes. Can you give me the flip side? Can you say, here's an attribute that we were looking at. So we designed this event to look at it. If you can't, pull the curtain back, I don't want you to put yourself out. Give me an example of what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So I think like there's all the events. If you look at any assessment selection, they're the students sometimes call them puzzles or team week. But those events were specifically designed to put you into small teams and give you a bunch of equipment. It looks like a pile of crap, but essentially there's going to be a mission with that. We're going to tell you, hey, here's what you need to do. You need to figure out a way to put it all together and move it from point A to point B. Or some of it may not even be a movement thing. We just look at to see how you're able to, communicate or whatever it may be. And that's the beauty, I think, of assessments and selections. We can be doing something that's totally PT based. But truthfully, we could be assessing an attribute that isn't physical fitness. You may think it's physical fitness, or you may think that we're looking for you to communicate, but we might be looking at problem solving or teamwork or something else. So it's just being able to plug and play that. But we have a specific phases in training where we kind of heavily weigh other attributes more than others. Some events where we're looking at things that is physical. And that's not to say that like the way that we've done things for the last 20 years isn't wrong. Like I think the way that we have done things has been great, and we've produced some phenomenal operators. And I think the Air Force Special Operations side of the house, we've been able to do some pretty cool things and have access to a lot of different stuff that I think other services haven't been able to, and we haven't had a formal assessment selection. I think the best part about what we've stood up is that it really is designed to, those one or two people that you have on your team where you're like, this guy's a total asshole. Like, yeah, he's a stud, he's physically fit, but they're low trust. Like you can't trust them to do things. That's really what ANSs are designed to try and weed out. Hey, here's these people that have the core raw material that we can get them where they need to be. And they fit in a team. Like they're willing to work well with their team. They're not assholes. Like I think that is the most important part of an ANS and what we've been able to see, because we'll do peer evals and these, they may not say it to each other's face, but you can definitely find out who the outliers are who don't belong pretty quickly by peer evals.
Oh, absolutely. And peer evals are one of my favorite things to do. But I think it's important because as an outsider, you kind of look at our pipeline and any pipeline really and just say, hey, they're just there to beat people down and do nothing but PT, do a little bit of math in terms of dive physics or something like that. But it's not like you're just there to beat people. And that's not the case at all. I mean, you've already said that you guys bring in Rand to do studies. I know they did a study a couple of years ago, and I think they're doing one right now. And I mean, that's where we kind of got the attributes from, or at least able to, articulate the attributes that we're looking for. And that's not to say that, the old NDOC and combat control selection course and all that kind of stuff didn't have science-based stuff in it. But I mean, you guys aren't just out there freaking beating people. There is science behind what you guys are doing. And I think that's important to highlight, just because I believe people think that it's just, hey man, it's just nothing but PT and you get through it. That's not really a question. That's more of a comment, but go for it.
It's super.
There was a period at the end of that sentence, not a question mark.
Yeah, it's super frustrating because I think from those going through it, those observing it, and then those from our community who come down and see it. And I mean, you came down and got to see it, Peaches, and I think you have a different understanding of it. But and I've told that to everybody who comes in the room, and I've gotten to the point where the tact isn't there all the time, and it's like, okay, it just gets frustrating because it's like you can't come and watch one event or watch our one WaterCon event and think all there is to know about ANS. There's until you're showing up at 0 dark 30, for lack of a better word, to see what's going on, the stuff that happens behind the scenes, the instructors, professionalism that like my guys have when they run this, and the pride they take in it. You really have no idea what ANS is. Like it's so much more than just one WaterCon session that most people come and see, because water's the thing that's, for whatever reason, that's the thing that gets people excited. So they want to come see it. And then you watch the same WaterCon session 3-4 times in a row and you're like, this is pretty boring. And but you go and see some other events, and ultimately, like, yeah, there's some high intensity times and it's in there, but for the most part, it's controlled chaos, and that's the way it's supposed to be.